Alright, so we're going to take a look at Slay Ebonheart today. This was one of the decks I posted as the 5 decks to look for the new classes. This is Slay slash, it's Ramp more than Slay Ebonheart. We have the incredible top end, you can use with Squish the Wimpy, and more importantly, Archer's Gambit, the new inclusion. And then the Archer defense, you have just a ton of ramp, a ton of ways to cycle through your deck. And then once you cycle through your deck, you can either kill them with a Defiler Rage, bringing back a whole bunch of stuff, or the Flesh Atronach Rage will give it breakthrough with Ornamented Sword and, kill him. Its weakness is aggro. It's definitely going to struggle against aggro sometimes. If the lethal package doesn't line up, if you aren't able to get those good, tempo gambits, where the gambit's always a 2-for-1, and, gambit's a crazy card, and it can carry a lot of aggro matchups. Sometimes it doesn't, though. Jordan the Scald King is ridiculous in every single deck he's in. This card is just completely nutty. But yeah, let's give Ramp Ebonheart a try. Going up against a Crusader. Crusader could represent a problem if they're on the aggressive version. Some people are still running the control list from Ianbits. Archer's Gambit, even though we don't have a target for it, this is the best card in the deck, so we're going to keep it. And we're going to hope we find ways to combo it. Found a Quicksilver Crossbow, and we found a Hist Mage. Hist Mage can help if we get off to a bad start, just putting us in a position where we're looking to recover. Found a Falkreath Defiler. Is at least a card we can play. Get it on the board, ready for Gambit or Quicksilver Crossbow things. Is he able to hit his 2-drop here? He is, and it is the Rift Thane. The big one, the 2-mana 4/2. We're able to find something to play as well, however. And this is not the best Pyro you'll ever see, but it's still a Pyro, so we're going to set it up. And contest his 2-drop. Next turn, Defiler is ready to come out. Okay, so now we're looking for any creature to be able to finish off this 6/1. We found a Dushnik Y'all Archer. Now, even though we do have Fervors likely in our future, we're going to use the Dushnik here because we can bring them back from the Falkreath Defiler. Next turn, we have Hist Mage. Hopefully, we'll be on a relatively stable board state. Looking at just the 5th Legion now, that seems likely. It's going to Crusader's Assault just for 1 card here. And that's just absolutely fantastic for us. With the ability to move to the Shadow Lane, we have the upside of getting to just plop this Hist Mage down into the field lane and get it ready to go. We still have the Defiler with Gambit and Crossbow ready to pick off any unpleasantness. We found a Galen, and there's a Mighty Ally. Mighty Ally is going to miss, which is unfortunate for him. His Mage is going to eat that attack. And we don't actually have to do anything here. We can just Gambit and set this up. And I think that's what we're going to end up doing. We have the ability to use the Falkreath Defiler for it, but I think Falkreath Defiler is going to find better homes in this deck. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to shuffle the Crossbow because it's the most defensive tool in our hand. And we're going to move over with the Hist Mage now contesting the 3/3. We still have the Defiler in hand. We still have now a Rage to potentially clear a field lane coming up soon as well. So he's going to cash this in for a 4-mana 5/5 while taking out the Hist Mage, which is a pretty good turn for him. You owe Orky a death. We do have Squish the Wimpy now. Squish the Wimpy, not a great play here, unfortunately, because of just not having a really big target ready to go. So this is actually just going to be a 6-mana 5/5, I think, to contest his 4-mana 5/5. So I think we're going to make this trade. Go ahead and play our Flesh Atronach. Meant for the late game scenario, but you can still just kind of play him out there. We have Necromancers to recur him as well. Time to fight. One of his cards being a Raw Firebrand is great for me because that is just super low value, and this is definitely a position where value is going to matter. And Rift Thane is the final card. Seeing all of the cards come out of his hand always makes me feel a little bit good. We did pick up the Gambit, so this is going to be absolutely insane for us. We're going to take this out. We're going to go ahead and Gambit to take down the 2/1. This first one is going to bring back a Thorn Hist Mage.
The Hist provides.
And then we are going to squish the Wimpy.
Well played.
To bring back a Dushnik Yell Archer.
We must protect our stronghold.
Well played.
So we're just in a very stable board position. We now have another Hist Mage ready to go. Again, he's on a relatively low value deck, and we are not. We are on a very high value deck. So, yeah. Now that's unfortunate because we don't have a way to deal with that. So let's see if we can find one. We have the Scouts Report, or we can just kind of eat the bullet, say this Markarth Bannerman is going to get to swing, and take the Fork of Revelation to draw for future turns, and I think that's the place we're going to go to. So we are going to let this Bannerman swing, which is terrifying. But we're going to draw a whole bunch of cards. We found a Squish the Wimpy for ourselves, and another Defiler, so he is going to be able to get some damage in on me, depending on what this this draw is, but it should not be enough. Would not be surprised to see him just hold things. But no, he's going to go with the Candlehearth Brawler. We know his last two cards. So I think we're just going to... We're going to keep the ramp coming. We're going to fire off that Hist Mage. Give him another Hist Mage. And now we can kind of do whatever we want on any given turn. We have the Defiler to squish to bring back the Camel if we run out of options, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. We have lockdown field lane with the Flesh Daddy, so at any point we can go ahead and rage him if he decides to switch back over to the field lane. We are going to try to start guarding the field lane as well, too. Now, worst card to see here would be Crusader's Assault. He does only have the one card. He has two Firebrands, or the other cards in his hand.
Sovereign God awaits you.
He is just going to make a bump. We're going to go ahead and open with the draw. Dark Seducer's a good... Dark Seducer's a pretty good card. We have enough time to wait, I think, to just go ahead and... kind of just hold here and wait for the Dark Seducer Rage. Because that's coming up next turn. And I don't think he can deal 16. He's got 4 Firebrands in his hand and then one more card. We're just not sure what that last card is. We are just going to go ahead and rage our own board here. For the heal, 14 heal should put us out of any potential shenanigans. And we want to do that in case the last card he had was a silence. If he was able to silence past the Dark Seducer, then we would have been a little bit of trouble with that many Firebrands. And it looks like he has quit. So, alright. This deck is not the most fun to play against. I'm not going to deny that. But it's part of the game, so I guess we have to learn it for as long as until it gets hopefully nerfed. Lucky Lucker is going to be on the Burn Assassin. So we're looking for heal, and we're looking for kind of ramp. Ramp and heal to kind of engage our game plan faster and heal out of his potential game plan. Support removal also potentially something that we could need. So this is not the hand. We'll see if we can get there. We found a Blackwood Distiller is quite nice because we can maybe do some crazy things with that. This deck, not great at removing things, great at stalling. Found the Tree Minder. Gonna go ahead and set that up. So we're looking for big health gain swings. We're looking for things like the Dark Seducer Rage that we saw in the last game. Things like the Night Talon Squish. But the ramp early is the big thing. Getting very quickly onto this board. And being able to kind of just cycle through our deck a little bit more freely than if we had to deal with his threats more. So So he's going to spend his entire turn drawing, which is great for us. Unfortunately, not a whole lot to do this turn. We don't have anything we want to Galen because, again, we're looking towards life gain. So I'm going to go ahead and just cycle this Rapid Shot. Going to keep looking for it. Found the Tree Minder for next turn. Anything to combo with Cicero would be great as well, because we do have enough mana to do so now. Unfortunately, we don't have an answer to Hexmage in hand, so if he goes for the YOLO Hexmage, we have nothing to do about that. He's going to go with a double market. We don't have support removal in hand. We're going to need to find it. Looks like he's going to try to take out the Black Hand. I guess with a Debilitate here? Does he have another Spoils of War? With a Debilitate. So he's only got one card left. So we're going to Scout's Report first. Dark Seducer is an insta-keep. There should not be a good way for him to deal with Dark Seducer. Now we just need to find a way to trigger it. One of the best ways to do that is just get a little bit further in your deck. With only 2 cards, I think this Dark Seducer could potentially get us there. He's going to hit the Thieves Guild Recruit, and then he is done. So I think we're going to actually just go ahead and play this Dark Seducer.
Herbs can heal or harm.
After, of course, firing off a couple more Dark Seducers into the deck. With the Falkreath Defiler ready, I think this is fine. If he's able to find another Spoils of War, we could be in big trouble. He's already used two of his natural paralyzes. We have not seen a Hexmage, and unfortunately do not have a way to deal with one if he was to play it. But that Dark Seducer is sticking, and that's a big deal.
Your blood stands forfeit.
So we're going to go ahead and lock down that and set up the Cicero. Get ready to potentially use him to draw some cards next turn. Either with the creatures of our own or with his. Healing for 7, absolutely fantastic there. Fork of Horripilation is going to allow us to draw even more.
Repel the Outlander.
Hopefully find some support removal.
Is there singing?
Did not find support removal yet, but we have found a shrine. And a rage.
Praise to Namira, whose fear is the ancient darkness.
So we're just going to continue cycling. I'm not really afraid of anything he might be trying to do now that I have the rage. I want to try to find my support removal and potentially some heals. Now, I don't think we're ever dead this turn, but there is a small chance if he's able to find this Hexmage. So we are just going to heal out. Just no question. We're going to sack a couple things that we don't plan on using for the sake of this rage. First of all, we're going to trade there. So I think we're going to go ahead. The Fighters Guild. We're going to do this, actually, so we can get another one in this.
Is there singing, the boy?
So we're going to go with the Venom Tongue, or Pyromancer,
They will perish in flame.
and then Venom Tongue.
I raise the spine of
And then we're going to Rage our own Seducer. We'll go up to 51. 51's a big number. Should be tough for him to get to. We can double Debilitate to kill a Hexmage as well. Yep, able to push through. So ramp, ramp, ramp. Engage your game plan very quickly, and hopefully your opponent won't have enough time to engage theirs in the best way. They had to go in a little bit early because of the the promise of ramp. They had to maybe go in a little bit quicker than they wanted to. They used a lot of 0 costs without a hex mage on board, without a spoils in hand, and we kind of just, by ramping, forced our opponent off their game plan, and were able to do ours as well. So give ramp Ebonheart a try. It's a really good deck.